In this video, we're going to provide an introduction to automation workflows and how to ensure these are set up on your site. To do this, we use the example of an e-commerce site. However, automation workflows are features that are for all websites. What is an automation workflow? It's essentially when you're asking your site to do an automatic action on your behalf. It could be something as simple as when my customer submits a form, send an email to them and to me. Or when a customer submits an order to me, send an invoice to an order to them and send me a BCC of that email as well. So how do we get started with those? Well, you log into your iPages admin area and you'll see the back end like this, and then you'll go to settings and down to automation workflows. Here you'll be presented with the automation workflows that are currently set up on your site. This is under My Workflows. Everything here is currently live on this Jewelry Snug site. And then if you click on Browse, you can see all of the available workflows to you. Those that are highlighted are those that are already in use. So we're just going to have a talk through what each of these are, just because you can then see what is available to you. And as you can see, actually there is a certain set that is helpful for an e-commerce store, so we're also going to look at those. So right at the top we have user workflows. This is anything to do with when users on your site do specific actions. A user is somebody who interacts with your site but is not yet a customer. So they could register on your site or they could request a password reminder, and you can see that there are different actions that you can do off the back of that. Workflows work on the principle of there is a trigger, these actions on the left hand side, which makes an action on the right hand side. So a user requests their password and we email the user their password or a link to reset their password. The user registers on the site and we email the user. The user requests a registration reminder and we email the user. If we then go to My Workflows and we look at these two here, those that were highlighted and how they're set up, if we click on Edit, we can see everything to do with this workflow. This is the body of the email that will be sent, and this is the details of the email being sent to the customer of your user, contact or customer, and here's the email it comes from and the BCC email. So actually what we're getting here is two emails in one to the customer, to the address of your customer contact, and then one to your team, to the addresses in the BCC, with the text below. And we will go through this text further as we look at other workflows. But for now, we're going to go back to Browse. Those are user workflows. Notification workflows. This is everything to do with your site notifications. If you want to be notified when users hit errors on your site or can't complete the actions they want to, for example, they can't find delivery options, a website notification is created and we can email that through to you. This action here controls that. The CRM workflow is everything to do with when a contact registers on your site. Actually, you want to go and email them. And contact workflows are to do with when a contact form is submitted. So on submitting a contact form, you can have multiple actions that are created. You can create a CRM contact that puts somebody into your website CRM. You can email a specified address. You may actually want to email somebody different from the contact that's just registered. So this could be the person in your business who controls your contacts or your sales. You could email the contact using their address that they submitted, and you could add them onto a mailing list. This is particularly useful if you're doing something like a newsletter sign up. You'll need this workflow in there to do that for you. Next we have e-campaign workflows. This is to do with letting your site automate the action of sending an e-campaign for you. This is particularly useful if you want to send emails routinely but actually can't always have a member of your team manually do that. For example, you may want to send an abandoned cart email at a particular time every day to everybody whose cart has been abandoned, but actually you can't rely on manual processes to ensure this happens. So at a specified time you can send an e-campaign. So you could say at 6 o'clock every day I'm going to go and send an abandoned cart. And actually if we click into My Workflows and look at the workflow that's set up. Actually, this is set up so 4 p.m. every day. The e-campaign for abandoned carts is sent out. Let's go back to browse. And let's move on to client workflows. When a client registers or customer registers on your site, you can do the same actions as for a contact and a user. You could email them and you could email the user as well. Then for invoice, there are a whole bunch of actions you can do on invoice creation. You can dispatch all the items and just create a dispatch note. You can email your customer. You can email your customer and actually add it onto their event trail, and this one we find very useful for e-commerce sites. It tends to go pass and parcel. And you can do a whole bunch of actions in credit note creation as well. Again, emailing the customer, adding the email to the customer events is very useful, because what this allows you to do is email the customer, BCC in your team, and then also create an event in your customer CRM. So you've got an audit trail of everything that's happened. So that's fantastic. Moving swiftly on to product workflows. This is everything to do with automating actions around how your customers are interacting with your products. So if they've abandoned their cart, let's add them to our abandoned cart email list. If they bought a product, we can put them onto a specified mailing list to retarget that product to them. If they've bought a product from a particular category, for example a brand, we can put them onto a brand mailing list. And if they've bought specified products, actually we can create a very specialised mailing list for particular offers that we want to give to customers. And it's worth mentioning that you can also set up an FTP file to be generated of the latest goods out notes that's been created. So for those who are using a warehouse or third party to dispatch your goods, this is particularly useful because you can actually set up FTPs to be triggered at particular times. Order workflows. These are all to do with actions around an order. Again, some of these are similar to the invoice workflow, and it lets you at every point of an order interaction. So an order is created, an order is cancelled, an order goods out note is created, an order goods out note is shipped. Actually, we can build in actions which automate the whole process. So you can use all of these as touch points if you want to interact with your customer at all of them, or simply at base you would need the order creation. So for every e-commerce store, you will need to communicate with your customer and email them a copy of their order. Again, this is 3 actions in one. It's emailing the customer to their specified address, BCCing your team, and it's also adding an email to your customer events. Dispatch workflows. These are all around what happens at the dispatch process. And finally, reviews. This is often overlooked, but it's actually a fantastic feature. It means that you can, when you have reviews on your front end, a customer will submit a review. Once you have processed that review, and if you don't know how to do that, head over to another video around publishing reviews. But actually, once that review's been published on the site, you can then email it back to the reviewer. So we find a really nice mix of workflows is actually to set up a workflow for when a customer bought a product. Actually, I'm going to send them an email that asks them to review it, so with this workflow up here. And then once they reviewed it, I'm going to email them through. For example, you could be emailing them an offer code saying, thanks for your review, here's 5% off, or thanks, here's a voucher code. So that works really well. So that's a very quick tour of all the workflows. And then when you head over to My Workflows, you can see how these are set up for each of those. And if you want to dig into each, again, as we said, it is the little pen icon. We can look at the order workflow, and we can see the email that is sent on order creation, those that are BCC'd, and the address it's come from. Back to My Workflows. So that's a very quick tour of how to set up automation workflows, and we hope that's helpful. If you'd like any further information, don't hesitate to get in touch.